Alright, put that there. Alright, nice cinder block to sit on, and it looks pretty good. Let's begin. Okay, so I've had the Super73 R for about a year now, and I've owned Super 73s before that. So today I'm going to tell you what I like about this one, what I don't like about it, and if I would buy it again or not. But first, hey, my name's Brian. I make videos here on YouTube, and if you're new here or haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. It'd be greatly appreciated. Now let's get back into the video. So like I said, I had it for about a year now since I lived in California and rode it on the beautiful beaches, and now here in the dense woods of Pennsylvania. So what do I like about it? First off, the range. And I know there's bikes out there that have longer range, have 2 batteries mounted on it, but this one is good enough for me, especially comparing it to the S1, where I had range anxiety and had to go back home a few times because I thought I was gonna run out of battery. With the R right here, I've never experienced any range anxiety, and from my experience on unlimited mode, I get around 20 to 25 miles of range on a single charge, which can go up dramatically if you use pedal assist. But I guess the lack of range anxiety goes hand in hand with the improved display on the R, where on the S1 and the Z1, when the battery was under load, it would automatically drop the battery level to then climb back up once you were at a stop. You never really knew what your battery level was remaining when you were riding the bike. The R does a much better job at reading the battery level and steadily decreasing as you're using it, and not just jumping around when the battery's on and off load. But another thing I like about the display is that it's not as distracting. On the S1 it was speed, miles, and then underneath that was pedal assist, and then on the side was battery level. Here it tells you just one big number, what you need to know at the moment, the speed, the total miles, whatever it may be, and then just a ring around the outside that tells you the battery level. It's much more simplified, and you have whatever you need to know right there in front of you. Okay, let's talk about top speed. On the R, I've hit 38 miles per hour going down a very steep hill. But on a flat, I hit about 31 miles per hour, and that's what you should be looking to get. But that number stays the same regardless if I had just me or me and my girlfriend on the back. So it didn't seem like weight mattered, it just seemed like there was a limiter keeping it at that 31 miles per hour. And with my S1 that I previously owned, I always wished that it would go faster, but I don't have that problem with the R. I think the speeds that you get out of this bike they're great. One huge thing that I like on the R from older Super 73 models is the suspension system. Coming from an e-bike that did not have one, it is an absolute game changer. You notice the smoothness right away on your first ride. It makes riding way more comfortable and allows you to ride for longer. And along with that suspension, you obviously get that smoother ride, and that probably comes from the suspension, the bigger tires, and the overall build of the bike. It just feels safer to ride. I don't know if you are safer, but it feels safer on this bike than the S1. I feel safer at those higher speeds because of the fine-tunedness of this bike. Okay, and the last thing I really like about this bike is the style. And when they first announced the R or all their new bikes, I didn't really like them all that much. I thought the S1 looked way better, but like with most things, you take a first look, you take a second look, and a third, and a fourth, and you're like, I really want that bike. It starts to look really good, and that's what happened with this one. And then once I got it in person, put it next to my S1, so much cleaner, such a good looking bike. And I sold this one and kept this one, so I love the way this bike looks. And it gets compliments, head turns, and people stopping in the middle of the road, holding up traffic to try and ask me about this bike. Everybody loves this bike. I love this bike, the look of it. It is an awesome looking bike. So with how much I like this bike, there's also some things that I don't like about it. First off, every Super 73 that I've owned always has problems with making noises when I'm braking. A lot of squeaking noises, and this is probably something that could be fixed, so I'm just nitpicking here, but especially going downhill and having me and my girlfriend on the back, those brakes are screaming at me and making some noises that don't generally make you feel comfortable when you're trying to come to a nice stop. Every Super 73 I have owned has issues with making brake noises. The thumb throttle. The thumb throttle on this bike gets stuck sometimes, and I don't know why. I let go and it just continues to go, and it's not the biggest deal because when you press the brake it cuts off the throttle, but one time I was just testing it and I almost killed my dog. And hear me out, I hit it to see if it was on, if it would go, and it got stuck and it just went and almost ran over my dog. Thankfully it moved out of the way, but if not, it might have been a hospital visit. So yeah, the thumb throttle tends to get stuck sometimes, and I don't know why. I've read that on Reddit before from other people, and they have the same issue. Another thing is the app. I've had a few times where it would forget that I connected to the bike, and I would have to connect back to it so I could set the riding mode and stuff like that. But other than that, the app itself is fine. You use it once, you set the riding mode to unlimited so you can go as fast as possible, and then you never think about it again. But my biggest complaint with this bike is that it doesn't come with a headlight. And yeah, you see a headlight right here. That's a custom one that I made. I made a YouTube video on it that'll be linked. But for $3,000, you would think that it would come with at least some sort of headlight. But yeah, that's my biggest complaint on this bike, that it doesn't come with a headlight. Something so simple, you're paying so much money, and it didn't come with it. I don't know why. They just didn't include it. So the question, would I buy this bike again a year later? And the answer is absolutely yes. I love how it looks, how it rides, the joy that it brings. There's no way you can not ride this bike and not have a smile on your face. It is an absolutely amazing bike. And if you also like this bike and want to purchase any Super 73, there's a link down in the description that you can get a discount. Other than that, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys in the next one.